while ago I looked at the Sex Pistols classic Anarchy in the UK. Today I'm looking at New York, which is perhaps not quite such a well-known Sex Pistols track, but I think from a guitar point of view this is actually one of my favourites on Never Mind the Bollocks. We've got some more fantastic Steve Jones power chord riffage. We've got a nice couple of guitar solos in there as well. So I'm going to try and keep this fairly brief today, so let's get straight on with it. So you know all about power chords because you've watched my two marvellous introduction to power chords videos previously. If you've not watched them, link is up above. And if you know your power chords, most of the riffs in this song are pretty easy to play. So I'm going to gallop through this one fairly swiftly. Let's start with the introduction that goes like this. And we're starting off here with an F sharp power chord, F sharp 5. This is a 6-string root power chord at the 2nd fret. And then we're moving to an A power chord, a kind of open position A. And then we've got an E. And you've got a choice here. You can just play a straight E major chord. To make that a power chord, you can just be a little bit lazy with your 3rd finger and you mute the 3rd string, and that takes the 3rd out of the chord and it becomes an E5 power chord. Or you've got a choice of playing an E power chord either down here, or you could play it up here at the 7th fret. And if you play it up at the 7th fret with a 5th string root, you can allow the open low E string to ring as well. And I think it sounds good to do a quick down up down of the pick when you hit that chord. And as I said in the previous Sex Pistols videos, on most of the tracks on Never Mind the Bollocks, there are lots of different layers of guitar and different overdubs. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if Steve Jones were playing, one of the guitars were playing down here, and then for an overdub it was playing higher up the neck, and that really serves to thicken up the sound. If you're just playing it on one guitar, then you've got a choice. You can either play it down here or high up here. It's up to you what you prefer the feel and the sound of. So continuing with the introduction, then we've got this so far, and then we do that down up down on the E one more time. Then we have this little lead guitar fill. That's a descending line, all played on the G string. So we're starting at the 9th fret and then just sliding down to the 7th fret, down to 6, 4, 2nd, and then finishing with a 2 to 4 hammer on. If you do that with your 1st finger, it kind of sets you up for the hammer on at the end of the phrase. And sustaining that final note, that B there, and underneath that the rhythm guitars are kind of chugging away on a B power chord, the 5th string root B power chord. Try a bit of pick scraping if you want to. And then we're into the verse of the song. And the verse goes like this. And this is based on a B to an A power chord. I'm playing this up at the 7th fret. I'm just playing a B and an F sharp here, so a 2-note power chord. And then I'm just stretching up with my little finger to this G sharp note. So it's the classic kind of blues rock boogie kind of a pattern here. And we're going like that. So we're playing the power chord twice, putting the little finger down and then immediately lifting it up. And then we're doing the same thing 2 frets lower off of an A root note. Just going back and forth between those two shapes. Bit of palm muting with your picking hand. And repeating that, I think repeating that 6 times. Then we're kind of opening up the sound a bit. We're taking off the palm mute and we're playing this. So we've got a B power chord, down to an A, over to a D power chord with the 5th string root, and and then back to a B. Interesting thing here is the rhythm. We're kind of pushing into some of those chord changes. So the count here is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so it's giving the whole riff a bit of momentum because we're changing on the upbeats there. So that's what I'm going to call the verse. Onto the chorus, and the chorus is the bit that goes like this. So more quite straightforward power chord stuff here. We're starting off with this E power chord up at the 7th fret. And then we're back down to the F sharp, and this is just like in the intro. So really just a re-intro there. And then we're into this little riff. And this is just going back and forth between B and A. And at this point in the song I'm playing these chords lower down the neck, so 5th string root B5 to an open position A5. And again we're changing on the upbeat there, so it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and... Then we're into what I'm going to call the bridge section of the song, and I didn't actually play this in the demo at the start of this video, so let me just play through that now. So more fairly straightforward power chord stuff. We got the E5, 2 frets down to D, 3 frets down to B, and then we're pushing into a G5, 3rd fret, 6th string root. Back up to E, D, and then up to a G5. This is up here at the 10th fret. And we're repeating E, D, B, B, G, and then we've got E and F sharp, bit of palm muting, and then we're back to the riff that we've had previously. Going back and forth between B and A. The first guitar solo, which I think is very nice, goes like this. And this is all really based on major triad shapes. We're going from a B triad to an A triad. So the B triad looks like this. We've got B, D sharp and F sharp. And we're holding that down, and we're just putting down our little finger from time to time on the E note, which is the 9th fret on the G string, and that gives you a sus4 sound. So we've got B, and you put down your little finger, and you've got a B sus4. So we're going, so B, B sus to B, and then we're moving down 2 frets to A, and we're making that an A sus4. And then going back to A again. That's the basic pattern. Just going back and forth between those two shapes. What you can throw in occasionally is a quick down, up, down of the pick, just as you're going into the chord change. So. let's just do that a bit more slowly. Going back and forth between those two shapes, I'm not sure how many times that happens. And coming out of the solo with this B note here, this is 4th fret on the G string, just letting that sustain, giving it a little bit of vibrato. The final chorus then is quite interesting because it's a bit different from the first chorus, and we've got some unexpected chord changes. Nothing too complicated, but I'll take you through the actual chords. We're starting, as we did previously, with the E power chord. Then we're going to an A, and to an F sharp, and then to a C power chord. On that F sharp, I think just occasionally just lifting my first finger to allow the open low E string to ring. And then we're going to A, and then E, and then into the end riff of the song, which is instead of going between A and B, we're now going between B and E. So going from a 6th string root B to a 5th string root E. And then we've actually got a nice little solo towards the end of the tune as well. And roughly speaking, what's going on here is we're starting off with this kind of Chuck Berry lick. I'm sure most of you know this one. I'm thinking kind of E minor pentatonic, I suppose. Here we're bending the G string at the 14th fret, but then playing a double stop at the 12th fret on the E and the B string. Then we're going into this little lick, and that's just a hammer on from 12 to 14 on the B, and then catching the 12th fret on the top string. Into some unison bends. So bending the 14th fret on the G whilst holding down the 12th fret on the B. Then just working that down the neck. So we've got 14th fret, 12, 11, 9, and last little lick there is a double stop at the 7th fret on the B and the G, and going to the 9th fret on the D, and then 9, 7, 9 on the D string. Nice pick, scrape, and end on a B power chord. So the gear I'm using today, and it's the same setup as I was using for the Anarchy in the UK video, using my Les Paul 59 reissue. The amp is a Vox AC30. Pedal wise, I'm using a couple of overdrive or distortion pedals. I've got a Rat distortion, and then that's running into a J Rocket Archer pedal, and that's just really set for a bit of a volume boost. It just seems to thicken up the sound when used in conjunction with the Rat pedals. So you should be able to get close to these kind of sounds with any guitar that's got humbuckers on it. The Vox AC30 is actually quite a clean amp, and I'm relying on the pedals to get all of the overdrive. So any kind of distortion or overdrive should get you into the right kind of area. I think you want to be careful you don't add too much treble, and try, if you can, just to boost the mid-range, because the mid-range is really what I'm hearing on Nevermind the Bollocks, and that's what's giving those guitar sounds their character. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoy learning to play this song. I'm going to put the tabs to this song up on my Patreon page. And incidentally, big thank you to all my patrons. It really is only with your support that I'm able to keep making these videos every week. So thank you very much. Thank you to everybody for watching. I shall see you next week. Bye bye.